at home, so I have muted my video. So we will just, without wasting any time, we will pick up from where we left yesterday. So yesterday, the last part of our exercise was to
Actually,
take a
আপনি লেট
piece of
করি না, ওখান থেকে
paper
আসতে আবার লেট হয়ে যাবে,
and
সন্ধ্যাবেলায়
to
অটোতে আসবি।
write the name of the person
চলে
whom
চলে চলে
you
চলে
admire the most. Then after that, I have asked you to list down the reasons, traits, personality, or
না না, আমি
characteristics
আমার প্রোগ্রাম
which
চাই, মাথা
made
খারাপ, ঘুমরো
you
কি,
to admire
এমটিসি
them
এমনি
the
বন্ধ
most.
হয়ে যাবে।
Can we
চলে চলে
have
চলে।
a few sharing? So from that, I would take a lead to discuss about the.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. Ruby, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Just a minute. Yes, sir. I have chosen a role model as in my life, Honorable IPS retired officer Kiran Bedi. And for the reasons I have taken her as a role model in my life is that because she is the first woman in India to join in officer rank as IPS, and she is a social activist. And then she has played so many sports activities as a tennis player, and she has won many awards and all that. And then she was the first governor of Pondicherry from 2016
ওটা
to
আপনি জলে বোতল নিয়ে যান, আপনি
2021. And then
চিন্তা
quality
নেই,
of
হ্যাঁ,
her work is
হ্যান্ড
like
ব্যাগ নিয়ে ছোট মতো
very
আনতেন নিয়ে
hard
যান।
working and perseverance and dedicated to the uh, work. And she mostly helped the weaker section of the ladies, and she helped them by inspiring them with lectures and raising their voice against injustice and work hard for a birthright and good life for the women. And then she also introduced several reforms at Tihar Jail in Delhi and won several awards. And she was the first lady and first woman to join UN government. And there she has won a medal for outstanding work in 2004. And whereas in Delhi, the Har Jail, she has won that RM Award in 1994 and President Police Award in 1979. And she's been has given so many inspirational speeches for women rights and women reforms and women upliftment and fighting for the injustice. And she has reduced so many crimes as such. So she is a very big role model for us and for women at least. And we get inspiration from her that we should do something for the society, and because we have taken so much from the society that it's time for us to give back to the society and
Okay.
see that we also follow some footsteps and take some good ideas from Kiran Bedi ma'am and follow the footsteps. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you
That's all
so
from
much,
my
ma'am.
side. Thank
So
you.
I will concise from your end whatever you have contributed, so that it would also be an example for others when they share. See, we all would have noted down some persons who would have having a greater public personality. So rather than talking about what they have done and all those things, the characteristics which made you to like them, like Ruby ma'am in your entire discussion about respected Kiran Bedi ma'am, you told the most likable characters that made you admire her or the the hard work she has put in as a woman and the lot of efforts she has taken for the upliftment of women and lot of remarks reforms she has brought in so in order to take up the weaker section of the society. Okay, so the further persons who are sharing, if you could share in this line, then we could concise and we can be to the point of our discussion.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else volunteering? Yes, Purvin,
Yes, sir.
ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
I have chosen my father as the person whom I admire the most.
Okay.
Because of these attributes or
Hmm.
characteristics he used to possess. And now he is not there, but I admire him for his enthusiastic behavior. He is a
We are very
go
sorry for
getter
him, ma'am.
attitude,
Okay. We are sorry for him.
and very disciplined person,
Okay.
very motivating. He used to motivate not only his children, people around
Okay.
him,
Okay.
and very good networking abilities.
Okay. Right. Right
Excellent
to be.
communication skills, oral as
Hmm.
well as written,
Okay.
helping nature,
Okay.
concern for society.
Fine.
I used to remember my father was active. He used to help needy people in his position. That
Okay.
is concern for society, helping poor. Very good habits. Never
Okay.
smoked, drank anything. Very good at eating habits and family
Controlled
orientation.
lifestyle, can we say? A controlled lifestyle, self
Controlled
controlled
lifestyle. Very
lifestyle.
good lifestyle. And he was very sportive. He himself was a tennis player, very sportive and God fearing and
Okay.
very supportive. Anybody wants to achieve anything, he used to support them. Not only his own children, others also.
Others also.
That is what,
Thank you so much, ma'am.
for that,
Thank you.
I admire him the most.
Very straightforward answer, and this is what I expect from the other participants also to share. Anybody else can we have from the list of
May I,
participants?
sir?
Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am. Shruti, ma'am.
Sir, I have chosen my father, like Shishma ma'am, and I have chosen him for his positivity. He is also no more. He passed away before 2 years, and he was very positive in his life. When he was a student, he had only one dress. In those days, also, he was very positive. He was never depressed or never sad, and he was always happy. He was a great scholar. He was a gold medalist. He mastered 6 languages and spoke all the languages very nicely. Then his nature was very loving. He was
Okay.
always ready to exert for the people he loved,
Okay.
and he was always ready to exert for knowledge. And
Okay.
he used to get knowledge from whoever could give him knowledge. So
Okay.
he was a professor of English and retired as the head of English department, and he was working up to 80 years of his age.
Oh,
At the age of 80 also, he spoke as the keynote speaker in national international conferences, etc.
okay.
Then
So
still he
it
was
is
very
it is
simple.
his ability to survive even in the simplistic conditions. That
Yes,
is one characteristics you admire. Then
yes,
his hardworking capability, because he has reached greater heights later there in his career. So his
yes,
hardworking nature, and finally even being active in the old age. Age doesn't matter, and actively contributing to whatever length he
yes,
can.
sir. And the
Okay,
most I would like to mention the most thing is that he loved his subject English literature, and he loved everything related to English literature. He had to undergo a neurosurgery at the end of his life. He had forgotten even my name, whom he loved most in his life.
okay, right,
But
okay,
when I showed him a few pictures of English writers, poets, etc., he recognized each and every one,
okay, fine.
even
We
after
will
the neurosurgery.
finally stop with one more participant sharing, so that I would it would be helpful for me to drive home the point on the other frame of NLP which we are going to discuss right away. Anyone? Please let us not have the thought that if I say something about the person I admire, and if I say about my father, mother, or some parents, what will be the other participants' reactions? They are claiming something about their own parents and other things. Not like that. It is for a greater purpose. I asked you to do this exercise. Um, so, can we have it from one more?
Sir, can I?
Yeah, please, ma'am. Binu, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sir, I would like to share the person whom I really admire most. The first thing is my father, and but I'm not going to talk about my father because, as previously Ms. Shruti said, I also lost my father.
Okay.
But what I am today is I'm always grateful to him. But I want to talk about my professor, retired professor emeritus. She's late. She's Dr. Udaya Mahadevan, and she was serving with Loyola for 34 years, Loyola College, Chennai. And sir, I joined for my MSW in Loyola, and when I was in my second semester, I had to discontinue my course because of my financial crisis.
Okay.
So I went with a letter and I told her that it was the college which told me that why can't you apply in Stella Maris when you have, because Loyola is only for boys, only PG is
Okay.
given for boys. Now it is like 50-50.
Yeah.
So I remember she was the person who told me that why can't you apply in Stella? Then I got through in Loyola. Then when I went with the letter, she just went through my academic record and I was performing
First
well.
back up,
She
sir.
got me she got the merit scholarship. Whatever scholarship was there, I got through because of my academic performance. And then I completed my MPhil, my PhD. She was there, sir. And
আরো লাগবে
what I
কয়েকজন
would like to
আর কি
talk
আছে
about,
সেখানে
if she would have accepted my letter, or if she would have done, I don't know whether I would
আচ্ছা
have
তো
been
এইটা
as a
নে
professor
দুটো নে
right now. And the
থলি থেকে
helping
নে
tendency,
So you are talking
even if
about
I,
the
even if
ওখান
any
থেকে না আমার
talks
থলি থেকে
negative
নিয়ে
about
যা
her,
পয়সা লাগবে
she, yes,
ওই
concerned, sir.
ওই
And
ওখানে
even
দেখ
if
সামনে
we talk negative in
তো ব্যাগ
front of
আছে না
her also, but
এই যে এই
after
ব্যাগটা
some
আছে
time,
এই
if
ব্যাগ
we
না
go and ask her that there is a desperate need, she will help. Because one incident which I have seen is she is from medical and psychiatric field. When along with her I went to a college, we saw one mentally retarded woman on the road. She just went back home, got one dress, packed food, and she took the banyan contact number, and we went all the streets in auto and everything, but we couldn't search. But we then found her. She went sat in the middle of the road and asked her, would you like to come with me? I will put you in van and you stay there. And she was trying to feed her. I don't think, sir, I'm also from social work whether I'll do it. But this is what the nature I've learned from her. And till after she got a pension also, she continued helping many people.
আচ্ছা তোর মায়ের
And
এটিএম
she was
কার্ডটা নিয়ে যা
supporting
রাখলি
for
নিয়ে
many
যা।
people for
না না
education.
নিয়ে যা নিয়ে যা emergency না
If you
the
ask in
nature
not
and
always
that nature coupling
yes,
with down to
এই
earth
চেনটা বাইরে একটু
approach.
না
yes, sir, yes, sir, yes. And what,
কি করবো
and every time whenever I complete my semester, I always thank her
হাতটা
that
হয়ে গেলে ভান করে নিবি কারণ দুটো
what
হাত
I
তো
learned
করবি না
from my
নিশ্চয়
professor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, all the four of you, for sharing your
আগে হাতটা দিয়ে বলবি এটা হবে কি আংটি যদি না হয় তখন
valuable
হাতটা না দিয়ে আংটিটা দিবি
points and
সব দিয়ে তো লাভ নেই
anyone volunteer,
কোনটা
or we would move like
এটা তো কিনলি এখন
what is the frame, uh,
যদি
the
হয়
association of which we are
ঠিক
going
আছে
to discuss this
অটো
activity.
অটো
Okay.
করে
And before that, could
যাতে
you
মনে করো
just recollect on the frames we discussed yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What are the
Yesterday,
frames of NLP? Yes.
cause or effect.
Okay. So we should be a cause or we should be an effect?
We should be the cause.
We should be the cause. We should not be the effect of the situations or others' behavior or the things that is happening around us, but we should be the cause of what we are. So for that, what we need to take actually
We should take responsibility,
responsibility. That responsibility will give you
empowerment,
the empowerment, so that you would be you can be the cause rather than being the effect of someone else's behavior. The second thing we discussed is very simple. As an
results
NLP
versus
practice,
excuses.
okay, as an NLP practitioner, we should always focus on results rather than the excuses. Okay, it is we should focus on what is that which is stopping uh, me from getting these results rather than why the excuses why I am not able to do it. Okay, so that's the point I have quoted there. Okay, the third frame, anybody remember? Third frame. That's the third frame we discussed.
Sir, you have given this exercise.
Hey, I just wanted to check whether you are in the line actually. Okay, whether you are all in the line. Third frame is what we are going to discuss right now. Okay, thank you, Gopal sir. Okay, fine, right. So the third frame is all about this exercise. Okay, I'll tell you the third frame with the help of this exercise. In the third frame, in NLP, we call it like perception is projection. Okay, so this is the third frame of NLP. Okay, the exercise we did is like very simple. You just think it at your back of your mind. Try to teach yourself. If you observe something positive in that person, and that positive trait of the person makes you admire that particular person, then it is natural that that particular positive thing is there also present in yourself. I'm repeating again. If you think you can admire a person for a particular positive trait, and because of that you can have a honor for him and or her, that particular positive trait is also within you, so that you are able to appreciate that particular trait, and that particular trait become the reasons for admiring them. Probably the intensity, uh, you know the intensity of that particular trait in you and them may be different. Most of us all practice this ahimsa and all those things. Gandhiji practices to this fullest extent, but we too, in our day-to-day life, practice in certain situations this ahimsa philosophy. Why we need to get it into this arguments and all those things? Let us go for a compromise and all. Okay, right? So the only the intensity will be different, but it is that whatever you admire in the person, that you are holding him or her as a role model, that attribute, that uh, trait, that personality characteristics is there within you. Without that, which you would not be able to admire that person because of that personality traits. Have I made it clear?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Professor.
Yes. So, if Shruti Desai, ma'am, you told about your father for his, like hard work, his commitment towards the disciplined thing, and his commitment towards the profession he has taken up, and all those things, it's naturally there within you. The only thing is the intensity your father would have exhibited in an, what you call a highest level of intensity. But it is there also within you. Without, if it is not within you, then you cannot perceive the same thing in your father.
Yes, sir.
And similarly, somebody told about the professor, you know, where she found out a street vendor. She go nearby, and you also said in your own words, like, I don't know whether I would have done the same thing, but my professor used to do it. So you have not scaled up to the level of sitting down in the road, crossing and all those things, and you would not do that, but you still have the concern for people at the street rollers. Okay, I remember when I was doing this graduation program, there was one very old lady. She was finding difficult to cross the roads. I was feeling pitiful and all those things. Suddenly, one of my we walk as a group. Okay, so suddenly one of my friend just went nearby, held her in his arms, lifted her up, and then crossed the road. Then placed it her in a tree shade on the other side of the road. I wouldn't have done it. But what I would have done it is, if that lady was looking for some thing to eat and other things, I would have given my tiffin box even. Okay. So the intensity will be different. But the good thing is, always remember, if you can see someone as a role model of you, and you can admire someone as a role model, and you admire certain characteristics and traits of them, then definitely those traits are within you. The only thing we will have to do it is we intensify. We will have to bring it out a lot. Okay. So that is what this frame says. Perception is projection. Your perception is the projection. Okay. Your perception is the projection of who you are. Your perception is the projection of what you are. And your perception is the projection of what kind of person you are. So that is why, when we are not able to take a positive meaning out of the world and the situations around us, then we know we doesn't have that is that we doesn't have that traits to process that information in a positive, meaningful way, so that it is projected as a positive thing. Okay, but when we can project it positively, then there lies some good traits within you. Right. So that is this frame is all about. We admire because we have those in us. Point number one. We are not consciously exhibiting. That is the only thing which is pulling down us from, which is making a difference between them and ours. Okay, and so please utilize this bestowed qualities in real life experiences. What is this bestowed qualities is are there? If you can see someone as hardworking, then you appreciate hardworking, and you yourself are a hard worker inside you. Yesterday we had some interactions with who's that? Santosh, right? He shared a lot of things about his colleagues and all those things, and he found out most of the uh, positive things. Though that particular person was not able to perform well up to the mark, he was saying like he was very committed, and he himself accepted that he is a burden to all other the entire team and other things. Okay, so like when he exhibits that particular thing, like he has in it, we need to work hard. He has the guts in it that we should not be a burden to others, we should be a contributing member to others. The only thing where we can say he has not come up out of that situation entirely is like he has not taken efforts to bring it out it full. Okay, so always remember this frame in this NLP. Your perception is the projection of you. Okay, so if you see something positive out there in the situation, then those positive traits, those are within you, without which you will not be able to look at it positively. Okay, so those positive traits, whatever you admire, everybody would have a person who you have admired, and everybody would have a list of characteristics why you admire that person. Just do a small dissection of yourself. You will find that you would have all those characteristics, and as I tell, only the intensity with which you have may be different. And the other thing is, you are not actively and consciously exhibiting those things actually. Okay, right? Shall we move on to the next frame, or anything is to be contributed at this point from any others? Shall we move on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Right. This point is well taken, right?
Yes, very
It is
nice.
very simple. If you can see something positive in other persons, you can be damn sure that those positive things are there within you. The only thing is you have to find it where it is, in what intensity it is, and consciously bring it to the forefront so that you can exhibit to others. So this is yet another the more important framework of NLP. Then we will go for the next one. Okay. Okay. We will do a small exercise like we did yesterday. Okay. Don't look at the visual. Just have a look at this visual for a moment of time. then we can close our eyes and we will do. This is an exercise which we should practice to know about the fifth and the most important frame, I mean, fourth and the most important frame of NLP. Okay, just place your hands uh, with your palm, with your inner palm uh, exposed to the top. Okay, place it on the table. Fine. You need a try sit up and all those things. Shall I unmute my video? I don't know whether I will lose the connectivity. Okay. So anyway, I will take the risk. So yeah, just here, just place it on the table. Place it on the table before you. You need not stretch it up, lift it, and all those things. Just place it on the flat surface before you. Okay. Right. Now you can close your eyes. Now you can close your eyes. Stop focusing on the visual, my presentation, and now you can close your eyes. Imagine in your left hand you are holding a big encyclopedia or a dictionary, which is very heavy. You know, those will have volumes of pages and thousands of pages. So, such a big encyclopedia or a dictionary that you are holding in your left hand. Okay, and imagine now that you are holding a bunch of helium air filled balloons. The normal air filled, and the difference between the helium air filled balloons is if you just let it go, the helium air balloons will go to a greater heights because it is much lighter than the ordinary air we pumped into the air balloons. So in one hand, in your right hand, you are holding a bunch of helium air balloons. In your left hand, you are holding a big dictionary, okay, or encyclopedia, or you simply imagine a big book you are handling. Okay, now both are there in your hands. The book is placed on your left palm, left hand on the palm, and you are holding this helium air balloons with your thumb and the next finger to the thumb. That is how we hold the threads and other things. Okay, so that way you are holding the helium air balloons. Okay, now slowly in imagination lift your left arm with the heavy book in it. Slowly take it, lift that arm of yours, left arm of yours, with the heavy encyclopedia in that. Hold it for the time till I say you to hold it. You are holding that book. You have lifted your hands to a little bit from the surface from which you have placed your hand. Now there is a heavy book in your left hand actually. And in your right hand, you are just holding helium balloons, bunch of helium balloons. Now, if you still hold your left hand with the books, keep holding it and just raise up your right hand and let the balloons fly. You just leave it. You are holding with your two fingers, right? The thumb and the next finger. So just leave it. The balloons will fly to the sky. Have a look at it in imagination. Now, still, you are holding your left hand with a heavy book in it. Now, put your right hand on the table surface. Now, lower slowly your left hand with a heavy book in it on the table surface. On a count of 1 to 3, you should come out of your imagination. One, two, three, come out. So, what is that you have experienced?
My left hand is still heavy. I'm feeling heavier compared to the right hand.
Compared to the right hand? Are you, any one of you, feeling a small inconvenience or ache in your left hand? Is there
Yes,
anyone like
Professor.
that? Yes, Santosha?
Yes, Professor. I don't know. Maybe was it because of my thoughts or something? I kind of felt
Because of your thoughts. That is the exact point. Because of your thoughts only. We neither had the balloons, we neither had the books. We just had our two hands and two palms, and it is now in the original position. Okay, so somebody is feeling that your left hand is burdened, and somebody may even feel the ache, a small ache, a mental state of pain or some sort of ache in your left hand. The point we are trying to understand is very simple. This is the fourth and the most important framework of NLP, which is the mind body experience. Okay, this you would have realized in many of the occasions, but I will just provoke or bring it to the forefront certain occasions so that you would understand actually. Right. uh, we occasionally walk with talking with mobile phones, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you talk in mobile phones, and we also walk. If there is something information which you are looking for, probably you are searching a book and it is nowhere find, and there is some source you have told that if that is a book, please let me know, and all those things. If that kind of positive thing, rather than a positive thing, if it is a thing in the phone call which is that you are expecting, your walk will be faster or little bit slower. Think of and tell. You hear a good news in the phone call, or you are talking with a long time friend and others. A happy news has been shared to you. Your walk during the phone call will be little bit faster.
Faster, sir.
Faster. You would have noticed it, you would have realized it, you would have experienced this, but we would have failed to notice. Sometimes, if we receive a very negative message, if we receive a very negative message in the mobile phone, our pace of walk will automatically slow down. Or if you are talking to a long term friend and a very close friend of yours, your walk will automatically slow down because you are getting deeply immersed in the dialogue with the person who is at the other end of the phone. You are getting it? All you would have experienced it. Okay? When you are preoccupied in your mind, thinking of something very much serious like next academic year, how am I going to plan? How would the student batch be? This academic year, how to close? The semester is prolonged. These are all in academics. Like in corporate life, now I will have to manage with a smaller workforce, and that too workforce in remote, and but the same results are demanded. Earlier we were 8 to 10 in a team, now we are only 5. So with these thoughts, you are just walking. What will be the pace of your walk? Slowly or fastly?
Slow, sir.
It is will be definitely very slow actually. Okay, so can you quote some examples where your mind and body are related. Something which goes in your mind is reflected in your body.
Yeah. Maybe when I'm extremely determined to do something and I really want to accelerate my speed, I've a lot of times realized that whatever I'm doing, also I'm doing it really fast, whether I'm eating or
Mm.
walking or doing anything. Depending on how fast I'm thinking, my body also becomes that fast. Like
But
very aptly said, wh- when I'm when I'm maybe reflecting and something introspecting within, the pace
okay.
actually comes down. Even when I'm experiencing, when I'm speaking to you this, when I was so clear with my thoughts, like tuck, 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 I was able to speak. When something that I had to think within, I actually, the pace came down.
Okay. I give you a better, easily, experienceable example. When you're
Sure.
at work, when your mind is fully occupied with work, you don't sometimes care for a lunch.
True, sir.
Don't feel the intensity of the hunger. By lunchtime, we get hungry, right? If I am sitting for an extended work and my full focus is on to complete before this lunch break, you know, even if the time has passed lunch break, we won't realize that hunger. Uh, that's it. Okay, but after finishing the work, immediately you will realize I'm feeling hungry.
Yes,
Have you
correct.
felt?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Have you experienced like whenever you are totally free in your mind, there are no work commitments. Normally, we used to have it on Saturdays and Fridays, Friday afternoons and Saturday afternoons. We will not have much to discuss and all those things. You would feel something to eat.
True. Correct.
You would feel something to eat. So when it is some work is occupied in our mind, the body responds accordingly. But when it is something, the mind state is different, then the body responds something different. Okay, so this mind body experience is another framework of NLP, meaning that your mind and body experiences are totally related, and this should be, uh, you know, uh, very clearly understood when you are practicing. Not only as practicing, we are intertwining this course as a practitioner's course and a life coach course. So when you are a life coach, you can read the mind with the help of the body language of your clients.
Correct.
Correct? So that is why
So,
we need to, yes.
yeah, I've also realized, see, there are a few days in a year, like for example, Shivratri, I fast. I prefer not to eat anything, whether fruit, milk. I don't eat anything other than water. I realized that on those days, I just don't feel hungry at all. You're so right. Uh, I don't need to really make that extra effort. Maybe someday when I'm working really hard and I have back-to-back meetings, I sometimes I'm like what you said. Contrary, I feel like overeating. I kind of keep eating and then keep working faster. So I understand there is a mind body. I mean, on those days when I'm fasting on Shivratri or Ekadashi, I feel yeah, my body doesn't really demand food. I felt that. Thank you.
Yesterday, I rolled out the class till, the content was ready, but I also wanted to put that content in this presentable thing. And, people who are using the software, you would know this takes a lot of time to come out with
Canva Pro.
some, yeah, that is Canva. So I will have to find the right pictures and all the things. So I was right from the morning preparing on the presentation. The contents, examples, everything was ready. So I started at 2:30. I sat in front. Then 3:30. It is by 6 when I left. Till that time, I didn't feel any hunger or something like that. But on my way back to home, it started because previously my mind was occupied with something. So this feeling of hunger would have come to me at the normal lunchtime, but I didn't realize because my mind was overpowered. Okay, so kindly appreciate the mind body experience either in practicing as well as whenever you are dealing with your clients, because you can read your mind of your clients with their body
Body
signals,
language.
body language, and all those things. Okay, fine. Right. You look at this picture, you will look at it. There is another dimension for this thing. I got it from someone who posted it on a WhatsApp group. So I just took the snapshot because I found it interesting. You become what you feed your mind, right?
Very true. Very true, sir.
Very true. And there is also a scientific relationship between mind and body. If your mind is clear, body will have all the uh, positive things. Okay, right. We will move to the next thing. Look at this. Read it very carefully. Neuroscientists have discovered that neurotransmitters are nothing but the cells from our brain, are bathing every cell in our bodies and eavesdropping on our every dot. What is the meaning of this word? How do you pronounce it? EAVESDROPPING.
Eavesdrop, not eavesdrop.
Ah, eavesdropping. Okay. So, what is
Dropping.
the actual meaning of the word eavesdropping?
Kind of spying.
Ah, it is a kind of spying. It is kind of gaining information by noticing without their knowledge. So now we can reread this, this identification given by the scholars. Neuroscientists have discovered that neurotransmitters are bathing. What is bathing? They are convincing every cell in our body, and they are spying it on our every thought without we knowing it. So now I think you would understand I mean the significance of mind and body relationship, right? Okay. Look to your left. It seems it really is a case of what you think is what you
What
get.
to get?
Okay. And finally, look at the last quote by Deepak Chopra. Every cell is eavesdropping on your internal dialogue. Okay. So these are all the evidences where there is a mind body relationship. Okay. Right. So this,
Sir,
yeah.
the thoughts generate automatically, or is it only from the sensory inputs which we receive that the internal dialogue happens?
Ma'am, it is not only like, it is like simple, ma'am. See, right now, I am not getting any sensory inputs now
Okay,
because I am concentrating on delivering this class. So
okay,
I don't, I sit in a table where there's a laptop in front of me, and side there is another laptop of my wife, and there is a set of encyclopedia. Till the time you
okay,
have pulled now, I haven't focused on any of these things actually. But
okay,
there were still thought processes going on. Like, what is the kind of thought process? I have focused on the time. It is 3:44.
okay.
So, by what time I should complete this frames so that I
Hmm.
will take you to through the propositions and then the exercise we planned for yesterday. Okay.
Okay. So is it internally generate? Is it
Yeah, yeah.
generated automatically, or
Thought processes need not
where
happen
does it emanate from, sir? Where does it? Where is the
where
source of that?
maybe some thoughts, some sensory information. I told you like yesterday,
Okay. Hmm.
immediately you will not be able to do the every process.
Okay.
You just receive that sensory information, but you would not have processed it. So
Okay. Okay.
when you are not receiving the information, when your mind is not that occupied and all those things, something back will come to your mind. Have you
Okay.
ever experienced this? Some of the
Yes. Yes.
songs you would your mind, it will flash your mind the hummings and other things and all
Yes.
those
Yes.
things. After that, sometime back, you would come across to see the song.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
some
Oh,
sensory information which you have seen will form a part of your thought process. You would not
okay.
have even given much importance to it, but it may
Right,
be
sir.
reflected in your dream or something like that.
Okay.
The cross process is an on cycle process now. Whether you receive sensory inputs or you don't receive
হ্যাঁ
sensory inputs, it will go
হ্যাঁ
on, because there is some sort of sensory inputs
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ ঠিক
our
আছে ঠিক আছে
brain can create. See, let me assume, if you are put it in a dark room where there are no sensory inputs at all,
তাহলে
do
ওকে
you think
ওর গুগল
your
পে
mind
নাম্বার
will
পাঠিয়ে দাও
stop working?
No,
না
sir, it will
না
not.
না
No,
তুই
no.
পাঠিয়ে দে না তোর
Where
কন্ট্যাক্ট
will it take the sensory inputs and process?
From the earlier recorded information or
Recorded memories
inputs.
and all.
Hmm.
Okay, so it is
Okay.
not necessary that the inputs and the thought process should happen simultaneously. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
inputs can happen, be received now. Process can happen later. Even with it, without inputs, we can process actually. The point here to understand is, since there is a strong relationship between the thought process in mind, what is going on in our mind and our body, you know, we need to leverage it. One, for our practice thing, we should keep our mind clean, so that it is also giving us physical fitness and all those things. The second thing, when you are acting as a coach, if only you can read the body language of your client, you can read his mind actually. Okay, because I have told you right in the first class, as an NLP coach, we are not going to use any machines, ECGs, this scanning meters and other things which captures what goes into the brain. We are not going to use those sophisticated machines. Our process is like, our intervention ends like, we are going to help people in the way they are going to think. Fine, ma'am? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
হুম
I'll move to the next thing. Okay. Now, this is what we can discuss before we finalize on the fifth frame. Okay. So far we have come across four frames. The first frame is cause and effect. Don't be an effect of the situations. Try to be the cause of it. Cause should be greater than effect. Uh, Point number two is results versus excuses. And point number three is mind body relationship. Okay. So, point number three is
Perception is
perception
projection.
is projection. Okay. Right. If you can perceive something from others, then it is within you also. Okay. That you have to understand. Okay. Number four is like mind body experience. This is the fifth frame you are going to discuss. Imagine of any big burning issue in this world, not related to your personal thing. You can also have both, one in your personal thing and one from the world. If you ask me to think of what strikes immediately in my mind, is this Ukraine and Ukraine issue is something which strike my mind. Burning issue in this world. Afghan's new change in government and all those things. Okay, so I'm just giving you examples. Such issue, a worldwide issue you can take, and also a big issue and a problem which you face right now. Okay, any big issue which you are facing right now. Have you selected on the issue?
Yes.
Okay, right. I'll today go with people who have not interacted, because all those who are frequently interacting are in my layout, and there are 14 others with just the initials only, so I couldn't get much from them. Sir Srinivas sir, are you there, sir? Ravindranath sir, Gopal sir.
Sir,
Yeah.
it's a climate change or the you can global warming.
Okay, sir. Fine, sir. See, when I take certain people, it is for others' understanding. I'll ask frequent questions from them. So don't take it as like you are taken as the guinea pig or something like that. Please, sir. Okay. So, climate change. So, what is the adverse effect it is giving to this world, sir? Climatic conditions, changes, and all those things.
Sir, it is causing the global warming, which is ultimately leading to the melting of glacier,
Melting of ices, okay,
icebergs,
in the
and glaciers.
Antarctic oceans, okay. So
Yeah.
what will happen because of that melting of ices? Sea levels
Uh,
will tend to increase,
Sea level will increase.
increase.
Also,
When it
we are
increases,
also
what will
facing this.
happen? Okay, right. We are at, we are at some sort of danger, okay.
Yeah.
And not only that, now we have got the seasonal rains, the patterns in which seasonal rains come have changed, right? Suddenly we have floods in the earlier we have northern monsoon, southern monsoon, monsoon seasons alone actually, but the rain cycles have changed also. Okay. Now, a question to all of you. Let us take from Gopal sir that this is the burning issue, which we each of you might have a different burning issue, but let us all assume that this is the burning issue which is we are all focusing. Okay, sir. Gopal Natwal, sir. How much do you think you are responsible for this climatic changes?
Sir, in percentage term or in my
In
contribution?
in percentage term, not in contribution, sir. I'm not
Okay.
asking you what are you doing to get out of this or to solve this. In percentage term, how much are you responsible for this declining or depleting climatic conditions and this worst climatic conditions? You as an individual,
It's a very, very fraction, sir. I think it's almost,
you
I guess it's,
okay, very fraction. Now,
yes,
what
sir.
is that? What is that? Please listen to the interactions between me and Gopal sir going. It has a very strong point for you all to grasp from it. Okay. So it is very fraction, sir. Now, what is the effort you are doing do away with this climate change, sir?
Uh, it may be, sir, around 1 to 2% of my effort.
What is that effort you are doing actually?
Sir, number one, that every year I do plantation.
Okay.
I try to minimize the consumption of the resources. Maybe it's the wastage of electricity, wastage of water. I try
Okay.
to conserve it as much as possible.
Okay, okay. That is what I too do, right? If some light is glowing without any persons there, then that is the main irritation that I will get. If the taps are not closed properly, leakages and other things, that will all provoke. Okay, fine, sir. Now let us imagine. I think this is the kind of state which we all will be in, right? For climate change, we will think that who do you think is the major contributor of this damages?
Mm,
Technology.
Technology,
Maybe industry,
industrialization,
industrialization.
industrialization. Okay,
And
right.
I think, sir, it is the we human being, because
Okay.
we have unlimited desire, and
Our
we need
lifestyle,
comfort. Yeah,
can we,
lifestyle, you can say, sir.
the way we have changed our lives. Now, all of you imagine Now, all of you imagine, you now believe that for this changes, which is a burning issue in this world, it is going to happen very seriously in the near future. Scientists has been given warning. The Antarctic Circle ice cubes are breaking, and they are just getting melted into the sea. So sea level will increase. Most of the lands will go inside actually. Okay, so this is all going to happen. But our responsibility in this is only a fraction. And because of that, the efforts we take is like at our level, we try to use electricity properly. We used to plant some trees. We used to keep our environment clean. We used to conserve groundwater and all those things. Suppose now I put this question to you. If you as an individual are responsible for 50 percentage of this damages which are caused because of this climatic changes, will your efforts increase or decrease?
It will increase.
Increase, sir.
It should increase
It
actually.
should increase.
If it is 90 percentage,
Again, it will increase, sir.
it will increase. If it is 90 percentage, what will be your role actually? You will
Response.
be you are responsible, and you will be in an empowered situation to take actions, right,
Yeah.
against all those things, and to curb this climatic changes and damages and all those things, fine. If you are taking 100 percentage responsibility, if you are given the, if you are stated that you are 100 percentage responsible for bringing down back to this thing, then what
I will lead the change, sir.
you will lead the change and you will be totally responsible. Okay, earlier you are responsible, now you are totally responsible. Earlier you will try to change, now you will be the change agent. Okay, I hope everybody will understand the difference between the two terms, you being a part of the change and you being the change agent. Okay, right. So
Yes.
more the responsibility, more the efforts you will put, and more the more the actions you will indulge in. Okay, so that is the fifth frame of NLP, right? Responsibility for results. That is the fifth frame for NLP. Here, what is the responsibility and what is the result? Forget about our climatic changes and other things. As an NLP practitioner and coach, what is the responsibility and what is the result we are to bring in?
Responsibility for results means you have to give response and ably manage so that you will get the outcome.
No, I'm asking like to whom you are responsible for. As a NLP practitioner and a coach, as a life coach, to whom you are responsible for.
For the client, sir.
Exactly. It is you are responsible for your clients. You are responsible for the results you bring in your clients. Only if you take 100 percentage responsibility for your clients to bring about that desired outcomes, which is the results, then it will work out. Otherwise, it will not work out. So, am I clear? Have I made it clear? Are my words hard today? I'm not using hard language because to go into a tutor mode and all those things. I am just using that tone and tenor just to bring about the seriousness of this aspects to be inculcated in, so that when we become a practitioner and coach, it will be more helpful for us. See, we are responsible for the results we try to bring in for our clients, and we are also responsible for the results we are trying to bring in for ourselves. You wanted desired outcomes, you wanted to change certain outcomes, you wanted to change certain behaviors, you wanted to remove certain things and put it with the new things. So that is the responsibility, and the result you are expecting is that for that 100 percentage responsibility is taken by you. If you feel that you are even 99.99 percentage responsible, that fullest results may not happen, will not happen. You should take 100 percentage responsibility. But when you're at the other side, when you are taking the role of a life coach, you are responsible for your clients. You are responsible for the methodologies you administer in your clients. You are responsible for the techniques you adapt to treat those clients. You are responsible for bringing out the desirable outcomes that for which the clients come to you. Okay. And look at the second thing. Being responsible is not taking up blame. Okay. I've given a new thing of responsible. Responsible is response plus able. Response plus able. If there is some response, you are not able to get it in the initial stages, be sure that you are able to get it at the second time, third time, or fourth time. Persistence, remember. Okay. So these are the 5 frames of NLP. Is it time for break or shall we proceed for 10 more minutes? It is 4 o'clock now. We will proceed for
Let's
15
take a
more
break,
minutes.
sir.
We will take a break now.
Sure.
Okay. Then shall we be back by 4:15 today?
Sure, sir.
It is 4 now. We will be back by 4:15. Okay. Thank you. Now we will move on to the 15 most important presuppositions of NLP. Okay. Can anyone of you give me the dictionary meaning for presuppositions?
Something that replaces something. Presuppose. Something already exists, so you presuppose it. You put it over it.
Not exactly. There is one English faculty. I think it's Shruti or Binu ma'am. I think they have not yet joined, it seems. Okay. For others, presupposition. Yes, sir. Maharajan, sir.
Something like premises, something like the assumptions.
It is premises, assumptions, though it is true or not true, even if it is very well known that it is not true, we will assume it to be true for something to work out. So that is what we call it as presuppositions. Okay. So for NLP practices and NLP principles to work out, we need to assume certain things. So most of the things will be not true in not practically true, and not practically possible sometimes, but we will have to assume that it is true, and that strong assumption in our mind should get deeper. Then within that only we would be able to practice this NLP and also coach NLP. So we were about to discuss 15 of those very important presuppositions. I will go a little bit faster because we have only 1 hour 15 minutes more. I also told we will have a final exercise at the end. Okay. So wherever is your intervention required, ask for it, and or otherwise, if there is any clarifications, you can stop me at that. Otherwise, I will go slowly explaining each one of the presuppositions. Okay. First of all, we all have a clear idea of what is presupposition. It is assumptions. It is beliefs that it should be true, though it is not true. Okay. We need not go for this exercise. Okay. Right. First of all, each person's map or model of the world is unique. This we have learned through many of the exercises. When I asked you to write a story about that picture, when I asked you to interpret that color abstract diagram and all those things, every one of you gave out your unique map. So each person's map or the model of the world. Map is nothing but the thought we bring out with, the meaning we bring out with. The model of the world is what meaning we give to the external events which we are pursuing. Yesterday we learned from the communication model. So each person's map or model of the world is unique. Why it is a presupposition? It need not be so. See, I can see in that image like that girl is blushing, and somebody also see in that image that the girl is blushing. Our thoughts are similar, but We need to assume that
concentration
each person's map or model of the world they are coming out with when they perceive something, when some sensory inputs get
মুছে জানো
into
না
them
লাগে কারণ
is
তুই মুখ তো
unique.
মুছতে গেলে তো লাগবে সেটা
This
দেখে
is presupposition number 1. Okay. When you go to presupposition number 2,
তিনটে
we will
ডায়মন্ডটা
move
চেঞ্জ
on.
করি তুই তখন সেটাই বলবি
Right.
হ্যাঁ তিনটে ডায়মন্ডটা ওগুলো দিয়ে
When
কত
I
পয়সা হয়
say
adjust করে
your model of world and the thoughts and the outcome and the emotions are unique,
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে
your client's
হ্যাঁ
model
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
are also unique. Okay, you are unique and so are they. So or they here means the clients you are going to treat with uh, when you become a life coach actually. So respect their model of the world. Even they come out with some awkward uh, identity or awkward information of processing this, you should not have a feeling that, see, I am giving him this clear information on this. Why don't he just process the information and just understand the basics? Okay. See, you process different things in a different fashion, right? So they are also unique and they process these things in a different fashion. And please respect that. We should not have a tendency like why this person doesn't scale up for heaven's sake, so that my job as a life coach will be easier. If this attitude is there, this life coach thing is not going to work out, as well as it is difficult for us to also practice this NLP practitioner. Okay, so when you think unique and when somebody asks you, every other class members have come out with this meaning for this image, why you alone has come out with this meaning for this image? You are very creative and you are unique. We all accept that accolades, we all accept that appreciations, but when somebody else does, we call them dumb that they are not able to even grasp the information which is obviously present there. Okay, so you are unique, so your clients are also unique, so respect their model of the world. Okay, how they give meanings to the various things happening around them, and how they come out with the outcomes like thoughts, emotions and behavior. Okay, that we should give. Okay, that room we should give for our clients. So remember, now you have started realizing these are all not to be true. These are all not true at all. These cannot be also true. But if NLP has to work out, we all need to assume and believe that these are all true. That is why this is called presuppositions of NLP. Okay. Third thing is like the map is not the territory actually. Okay, right. Territory here, as I told yesterday, territory here is the the final meaning they come out of it. Okay, the map, I mean the behavior. Territory is the behavior. Okay, map is nothing but the emotions, thoughts, and other things they come out with, which is the reason for the behavior. Okay, the map is not the territory. Okay, the way they process information and that outcomes may not be necessarily exhibited in the behavior. And though people are exhibiting certain behavior, they are not the behavior. We will discuss the next presupposition, which will make it to you very clear. I showed you a picture earlier. Okay, kindly listen and follow to me words. Let us assume that you are walking by this path through the stones or rocks. Some of the stone has hit you. Okay, and because of the hitting by the stone, you experience a sensory information. What sensory information you will experience here?
Pain.
Maybe physical pain, Professor, and
It
also
will
an
be a
emotional
difficult,
strain.
yeah, it is a difficult pain. Okay. Now,
And an
see,
emotional strain also, why it
emotional
happened to me.
strain. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Now, let us keep it very simple. Okay. See, this is all a pile of rocks through which you are running through. I mean, you are walking through. Okay. So, you have received there is an external event. What is the external event? A stone in the territory. What is the territory? Territory we are focusing attention to. Yesterday in the communication model we discussed something we don't give a damn worry about, that is out of our territory, and something we select and perceive. So when we walk through this, we will walk slowly that we don't get trapped or hit by any stone. So the stone obviously is in our territory. So that is an external event which is happening. That hitting of stone in our foot is the event which has happened. Okay, right. Because of that, you have felt an sensation which is a pain. Okay. So now what will be the outcome and what will be the behavior? You will tend to walk more, what? More
Actually,
carefully in the further course of this. Okay. My question now is, do you know about the nature of this stone?
yeah, right. I would know it
We don't know.
from where it came, right?
We don't know,
Nature,
sir.
No, no, property. I know the property of the stone, but not the nature. Yeah, correct.
nature, I mean, here is not the size or not the
That's the
stone.
property.
What is inside that stone?
We
No.
don't know.
You don't
We
know.
Maybe
don't.
more for
When
an
you
Indian
are,
country.
when okay, let us come to a consensus, then we will proceed, because
No,
this is
not person.
one presupposition which is very important for us to understand. Yes. Santosha, you
Not
got
possible
something?
to know the nature. Yes, Professor. Not possible to know the nature of the stone because for inanimate objects, how do I understand
And
the nature of it?
almost identical objects. Okay. And I have told you it is a stone. Should it be only a stone which has hurted you? What others in this locality or in the scenic situation may hurt you?
Pebbles also
Maybe
maybe
some tricks,
twigs. Yes,
twigs,
could be.
okay? Broken branches from those trees, twigs, dry
It can also
twigs.
be insects also, right?
It can also be some insects, or the stone would not have hit you. You would have got your toes or the fingers trapped in between two stones.
Right.
That may
Same.
also possible, right?
Absolutely.
Instead of something hitting on it, you might have got your feet trapped in between two stones. So the thing here to understand is, there is some external event which is happening in the territory. Because of this, you experience a sensation which is pain. But we don't know the full information of the source from which the pain has originated. I will give you one more,
Yeah.
possible
Quite unclear.
circumstance. Because of walking through these rough edges without even hit by a stone, you may experience some sprain, and you may mistakenly take it as some stone has hit you. That pain was caused by hitting by a stone. It may be also because of the sprain, because of you are walking through this long thing. In case you are wearing some, this footwear and all those things, it may be also some malfunction of your footwear actually. So we don't have the
Professor, I have
source.
a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, are you trying to say that we always think there is something for something, but there is something else in the
No, no,
con?
no, no, no. That is not the point I'm trying to tell. Just I'm giving you the various possibilities for making you drive this point. After that, we would discuss actually. My point is like this. not to try to say always we are being deceived by the sensory inputs we receive. Okay, I'm just taking here in this example like we are walking, so everybody can relate actually, right? And we have occurred with an event, an external event, we feel a sensation. The point here to understand is we have felt a sensation which is the pain, but we don't know the entire information of the source which has caused the pain. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
yes.
generally, how I look
Have I
at
made
things
it
are,
clear?
it is not the stone which has hit us. In fact, we have hit the stone.
It may or may
Actually,
not be the
whatever it is,
stone.
we have only
Okay.
moved on it.
Okay.
That is there in there its own place actually.
And it had hit. We don't know the nature of the stone, internal composition and structure of the stone, right? So we don't know, we don't have the full information. Okay. So that is the point here. I'm not trying to tell that we are all deceived by the map is not the territory because we don't have the fullest information. Territory is the map, the thought process we are coming up, the sensations we feel is not the territory because map is only of the partial information we have. Got it, sir? Got it, sir?
Can you repeat it, sir? David, sir.
Map is the sensation we have felt in our foot, which is the
Yes, sir.
pain. Okay, it cannot be the territory because we don't have the fullest information of what has caused the pain. Okay,
Okay.
what is the source of the pain, and what is the source from which that sensation is created. These information we don't have. Since we don't have this, the map, the pain which we are feeling is not the territory. Clear, ma'am? I relate it to your life coaching example, then more clarity will be understood.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, you are interacting with the client and he says, this is bothering me, this is bothering me, this is because why I am, this is because why I am, this is because of, this is because of this. Believe him fully, because the map he is quoting is like, you don't have the information, right?
Yes, sir.
Like this, and he has ruined my entire life. My wife is the only reason like this. She has ruined my entire life. Okay, but we hear him. We hear his thoughts and emotions and his own meanings. We hear, but that meaning may be true or may not be true. As a life coach, we should not believe everything the client says as it is. We should find out the territory and whether the map he is giving to us is fully correct or wrong. How do we do that? By probing questions. When some couples come out with some mutual problems, by talking to each other, we can easily identify who is the root cause of the problem and who is the effect of this problem. Can we do it? We'll be able to do it, right?
Yes, we can do it.
You will be able to do it. But
Yes.
when they come and talk to you individually, this husband will say every bad thing about the wife will say every bad thing about the husband. So that is the map they have created. But that is not the actual territory. Only after having the fullest information, source of the map, we will know which is who is right and who is wrong. Okay. So, as you know, life coaches, there is a tendency in us. See, I have done. I don't feel shame in sharing this example. Okay, in academics they will be giving you an faculty advisor for each and every batches, right? in projects and other things, you will have team leaders and all those people. Fine. So for a particular class, I am the class advisor. There was a gender problem. I mean, opposite gender relationship problem between two persons in my class actually. Okay, they were too closely related, and it was very obvious they were all found together and all those things. In most of the uh, multicultural institutes, we don't give a damn about it. Personally, I also don't give a damn about it. My philosophy is very simple. As far as they maintain the minimum discipline in the class, it's okay. Okay, so since I'm being the class advisor, I was asked to tutor them. My director asked to find out what is that happening between us. Why is it that? And it is like other department faculty has noted these people here, there, sitting together, playing, and all those things. And it a complaint has received, and you know, I will have to take some course of action. I spoke to the girl because that boy, he is of a okay. He has got a certain attitude, like he don't that normally teaches faculty as faculty. Okay, he doesn't even use the word sir. Okay, for your information, for without using that words, he used to talk to us. So this girl came to me one day, and she said, like, sir, this is this boy who is pestering me to talk to him. If I'm not talking to him, he says like he will do this, he will do that, and he will be totally broken, and all those things he shared in our library. Okay, and based on the information, based on the image, now here is the girl's map. Okay, based on the map given by the girl, I finally asked her a question. Okay, you say like he's only prompting to talk, and he is only behind you asking you to talk and all those things. So if he is stopped from being approached to you, if he stops talking to you, will you stop talking? And this girl said immediately, yes, sir. There is no problem in that at all. He's the one who pesters me, and he pesters me in front of the class. And if I don't talk, he's asking why you are not talking, why you are not talking. It's a kind of emotional, blackmail kind of thing. And all my friends are making fun at me. Like, and he says, I haven't ate till morning because you have not spoken to me, and I have not taken my breakfast in the morning because you have not sent a good night message. So all these things this girl served. So this map that girl gave me an perfect confidence in that girl. I immediately called my director in the evening, saying that this is what it has happened, sir. This I spoke to this girl, so it is better that we can tell to the boy that not to intimidate her, or not to disturb her, so that things will be okay. My director immediately doesn't respond. He said like he's a very senior person. Like he said, okay, fine, David, but I think there is also something wrong with the girl. Also, try to find out. With that, he closed the dialogue. Okay. After some time, I just went out and I was in the shopping. I received this call from this girl who has spoke to me and said, if that boy is not disturbing me, I'm going not going to talk, and I am going to be as usual. She called me, and she said like very short, very short. She said very shortly, like saying that like, sir, you told, and I was thinking of, I don't think I cannot be here without talking to him. So I will continue talking to him, sir. Don't mistake me. Then I also, cut the phone. Then I called my director and said this. And, he said, like, See, this is how you need to be very careful in counseling people, and when you uh, tutor people, you need to have the information from the both sides. So I was totally influenced by the map that the girl has given me. I was totally dependent on that. I am not sure about the exact source of the thing and the exact nature of the thing. So, with which, if I have done this counseling, it is wrong, right? I have made a mistake, and I said, sir, I have not grown well enough to made this mistake. I'll take only the administrative works of a faculty advisor. This counseling and all you take care. Then he said, no, no, no. This is just a practice. You will have to keep this all in mind, and you will have to, in future cases, look at both sides of the information. Fine. So that is the point here. Okay, somebody is presenting a map to you that may not be the real, unless otherwise you know the exact information, fullest information and the source. Fine. Shall we move to the next thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now it is clear how it applies in the client coach relationship. Okay.
Yes, it is clear.
Okay, fine. The next presupposition is like, think of this: an young boy throwing stone at a lake, okay, lake or some water, okay. What would be your reaction like? What would you think of him? Or you imagine, instead of throwing stones into the pond nearby, he's thrown stones at your window. What would be your immediate reaction?
He is showing angry. He is showing anger.
He is showing anger. What would be your impression about the boy?
Something wrong with him, sir,
Something
or
wrong with
his
this
behavior?
boy. Maybe why to cover with chocolate coated words? This boy is mischievous, and he is exhibiting a bad
Yes.
behavior actually. Okay, so the next presupposition is people are not their behavior, and their positive worth as a fellow human is kept constant. Okay, people are not their behavior. I'll tell you a simple example. Okay, now I will extend that story of that boy. Let us assume this bullying, right? It normally happens in colleges, schools, and all those things. What if some classmates or some senior fellows of that particular boy stands at the end of the road, and they say, you throw the stone at the house, or we will punish you in the toilet. Now, what will be your impression about the boy? Is the boy still a bad boy? You're getting my question? He has thrown a stone at you. You have come to a conclusion that because of that behavior, how can somebody throw a stone at someone else's house? Okay,
Now he's
so
a
it's
victim.
an yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Now he's a victim.
Now he is a victim. So when you realize he is a victim, would your impression about him change or not?
Yes.
Change, sir.
So people are not their behavior. Earlier, you have, without information, guessed him upon his behavior. Persons are worth than their behavior, because behaviors are situational. I will ask you a question. Please, give me the honest response. How many of you have beaten your children to tutor them in any occasions?
Repeat it, sir. Repeat it, sir. Your voice is little bit
Breaking? Okay. How many of you have beaten your children to tutor them? from some of
I
their
have done,
bad
sir.
behavior
I have
when
done.
they
I have done.
Yeah, done, sir.
I
most
have
of
done, sir.
because we have beaten them. I have done in two occasions. I have noted that occasions. Okay, just a small slap, when he did something wrong. Okay, right. So because we beat our children, are we a bad parent?
No.
Why did we
No.
do that? Why did we do that? In order for him to realize their mistake and not to repeat that mistake. It is the same we who have beaten our small kids, have provided them with the best food we can give, have provided with them with the best education we can give, and are providing with them with the best comforts they can give. Right?
Yes, sir.
Right? So are we to be judged by that one particular behavior?
No.
No. You will not believe. There is one thing is I don't remember. My son asked for my for his birthday and all those things. It is his first or second birthday, it seems. It takes like somewhere around 80 kilometers from here to Coimbatore. Okay, the kind of cake he has asked is available only in Coimbatore. Just there is the nearest city for us. Back then, I owned an old Toyota Corolla, 2006 model, and it comes only in petrol version. And the mileage. Somebody, if you have owned it, the mileage. It will be maximum 8 to 10 kilometers per liter if you work without AC. Okay, so myself and my colleague travel back to Coimbatore. Okay, asked him for the cake, ordered the cake, incorporated every element he is looking for. Then back when we are returning, he said, "This is a fresh cream cake, so you will have to keep the AC on." So still there is a fuel cost. The cake then I was talking about 2014. The cake then costed about around 4,000 rupees plus some 2,000 we spent for the fuel. It was the same person who beat my son has done everything for them. So I should not be guessed as a parent based on the behavior I exhibited in one situation because the situation demanded it. I am more than the behavior. I am more than that behavior. A loving father, a kindful father. We used to call, he doesn't call me daddy and all. He used to call me sir, professor, how was your day today? This all happens. So this is the same persons, right? So don't judge people of their behavior. People are more than the behavior they exhibit some things. Okay? Right. We will go to the next thing. The meaning we attach to any and all behavior of either to us or our client is dependent on the context it appears in. Okay, it is not the it is not the real picture of the person, dependent on the context. Okay, what is procrastination? Can somebody tell?
Not doing something, avoiding
Postponing.
doing
Not
something.
postponing. Okay, postponing. Is it a right behavior at the workplace or not?
No.
Why?
If you go on, you have to stick to the guideline deadlines, sir.
Deadlines. Okay. I am putting that question in a different fashion. When you go for shopping, is procrastination a desirable behavior or an undesirable behavior?
Desirable.
Why?
Because you may when you are shopping, they may tell you may get a better lot or you may get a discount if you come after a week.
After a week, or sometimes you would not have that money right now, so you
Correct.
want that money for some other purposes. So a little bit delaying is okay. Okay.
Yes.
Otherwise, it will be an impulsive behavior, or we will call it them as spendthrift. Whatever just catches their eyes, they will buy it. Now you tell the same procrastination. In one context, it is considered as a negative behavior. In one context, it is considered as a positive behavior. So, what makes the difference?
situation.
The context. The context. In work, I have to be sticking to the time. When I go for shopping and all those things, because I have come to shopping today, it is not mandatory that I will have to make the purchase only today. I can make it something else. So the thing is, whatever you find the characteristics of that client, or when you tutor yourself, whatever you find, whatever you discuss about yourself, try to find how best it can be used in other ways. The boy throwing a stone at the window, where could his abilities be used? Think of a positive way of using his ability.
In some sports, like shot put.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, right. So think of the context where it can be used positively. Okay, so that is this thing. The most important information about a person is how that person is behaving, what positive intent it may be serving, and what is the context in which it appears. I get angry. Because I get angry, you are supposed to not get angry at the students. You are a bad faculty. You cannot say. Somebody would have, somebody would have triggered me beyond a limit because I am angry. Right? And this anger is also required. When you ask me to go for discipline duty to some other departments, most of the faculty you would be knowing. Discipline duty, whether they are properly wearing ID card, whether they are bunking classes and all those things. There you require my anger, right? There I cannot go say, sir, you're not supposed to be in the lawn right now, that too with this group of people. Please go to the class. Will he obey? Will they obey? They don't damn to give a care. There I need to exhibit my anger in a strictly voice. I will have to tell them, why don't you have classes? See, in our college, it is mandatory to wear an ID card because we have some 8,000 to 10,000 people in a very 250-acre campus. So, like when find someone without an ID card when I am on duty, the first question I will ask him in a raised tone will be, who are you? And they will be definitely surprised, like, sir, like, I am, who are you? Then they will say, like, I am a student of this college. Then I will ask, what is the proof? There are electricians working here. There are outsiders coming into the college. This is a canteen meant for students. So if only you are a student, you are eligible to go into this canteen. Otherwise, you will have to use a different canteen. So when you are coming to the canteen, I should know that you are the student of this college. So there my anger is okay. But angry for everything is not okay. Fine. So be careful about the context. Okay, fine. We'll move to the next thing. Just tell what are all these behaviors I have listed. Quick, we'll have only few minutes of time. What are all these behaviors?
Undesirable behaviors?
All undesirable behaviors. The first top right, you look at is quarreling, then smoking, drug addiction, drinking. All undesirable behavior. Presupposition number 6 is difficult for you to digest, but having decided to practice NLP and having decided to come out as a life coach, we will have to accept this. All the behavior, even the most awful or desired behavior, has a positive intention. Now, the question for you is, what will be the positive intention behind all this behavior? Presupposition very clearly says all the behavior, even the awful, even the desired behavior, has got a positive intention to it. So what is the positive intention you will find in all these behaviors?
Trying to forget some pain or some stress.
forget some pain or stress. I'm taking drugs and I'm sleeping. So without when I'm in a disturbed mode, without disturbing others, I'm sleeping. Okay. When I'm smoking, I was stressful. So instead of showing the stress to others, I am damaging myself, but I'm not damaging you, right? So you need to find all positive things behind even the dumbest and the bizarre behavior. That is preposition number 6, actually. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Fine. We'll move to the next thing. This is preposition number 7. The most important information about a person at any moment is how that person is behaving. The most important information about a person at any moment is how that individual is behaving. Can anyone of you give a small of your own workplace example on this? Somebody is late to your office or class, let us assume. So, being it the first time practicing NLP, you have told him, please don't get late to my class. Okay. So, he also says yes. There is the next hour or some after hours you have a class. The same person is coming late. Now, how do you judge on that person? He said yes. You gave advice that coming to class on time is very important, coming to office on time is very important. You will miss the important things which we will discuss at the earlier moments of the class. And office is paying lot of resources. Everything he has patiently listened, everything he has said yes. He has not uttered a word against you, but for the next time he is coming late. So what does that mean?
He has some problem, inner problem.
Rather than he has some inner problem, whatever he has said yes to you in the previous conversation, nothing has got into his mind. Correct? For the sake of saying yes, he might have told yes.
Not involved.
Not involved. For the sake of saying yes, or to just, to stand in front of the class and explain why he was late and all those things. You don't want to do that. So whatever you say, he just takes it and okay, fine, he goes. But, whether that information has sunk in or not, at that moment, what would be your impression? Okay, this boy has patiently listened to whatever I am saying. I think he's a nice gentleman and he would correct his behavior. But the next time, he is, not behaving in the manner based on the inputs given by you. So what does that mean? The thoughts has not sunk in. So the important source of information for judging any person is like how that person is behaving, provided with the earlier presupposition we discussed, right? Knowing the fullest information. Fine. We'll go to the next thing. Have you come across any of this failed behaviors when you try to tutor someone, or your own changes when an outcome is not achieved, even adequate resources are provided and support is provided? Yesterday I told you my case. Support is provided from my home. They cook healthy for me, but despite of that, I'm a failed behavior in my diet plan is concerned. Okay. Such failed behaviors or tutoring someone. Have you experienced? Definitely all of you would have. Yeah, somebody is trying to talk, please.
Yeah. experienced
Yeah.
this. Whenever I can give an example,
Yeah, please.
whenever I have some research scholars, I always tell them just don't come before when my class is starting. They,
Okay.
as a guide, they must be knowing when the guide has got classes. Suppose I have a 11 o'clock class, somebody will come to me at 10:55, and this behavior repeatedly they were doing it as youngsters because they didn't mind, they want to get the things achieved. Yeah, failed
Fine.
behavior.
So this is a failed behavior. Okay, fine. So most of us, almost all of us, have experienced either some behaviors of our own or some behaviors which we are trying to correct on the others as failed behaviors, because we call it as failed behaviors because the outcome is not achieved. Now look at this presupposition. What do you think of the people who throw, this water bottles in the seashores, plastic bottles at the seashores?
They are irresponsible.
They are irresponsible. You would have heard about that one thing that GPG, GPG, Great Pacific Garbage Island. Anyone? Great Pacific Garbage Island. Nothing, the seashores of France, seashores of some other nations, people leave the bottles as it is and go. Okay. All these bottles, when the sea level rises, it will be washed away inside. And, ships travel through this route. Okay. This Great Pacific Garbage Island lies in between somewhere in between Latin America and Europe. Okay. So, neither of the countries are taking charge. So, a lot of ships travel by, it is a busier ship route, and all the, wastages and this plastic bottles disposed from ships have accumulated, and now it has become an island. Environmentalists has fought and they have asked this UNO to declare it as a separate nation. So now this great Pacific garbage has been declared as a nation. It has its own flag, and the people are trying to collect funds to clear out that garbage and all those things. Okay, fine. Now, the next presupposition is this. Just changing. Everybody is doing the best they can with the resources they have at the moment. This is presupposition. You cannot tell the person who has thrown these bottles carelessly in the seaside, which has now accumulated, you just look at the video of Great Pacific Garland. I even have it now, but for time constraint, I'm not showing you. Sometimes turtles, turtles, these bottles get caught in between their body and their small toes with which they will swim. So they will be becoming immobile actually. And most of the sea animals, sea fishes and animals take that plastic wastes as food and eat and die. Okay, that is the seriousness of that thing which you have created. But this presupposition of NLP says everybody is doing the best they can with the resources they have at the moment. So, what is the best that this person throwing that water bottle by the seashore doing?
He hasn't thrown it into the sea itself.
Instead of throwing into the sea itself, he is throwing it by the seashore. Okay. And ma'am, you said some behavior like, your scholars not reporting to you on time, and every time you have a class, they come and repeat. What is the worst behavior you can expect of them rather than this behavior? Gomati ma'am? You said they used to come
I'm not able to
before.
hear it clearly, sir. Your voice
Hear
was
clearly. Is it for
breaking.
all of them, the
I don't know.
problem?
That's what I was blinking for some time. I do
Is
not
it
know whether it is for
okay?
everyone or not. It
Uh,
was
uh,
breaking, and I was not able to get clearly what you say about the bottle also.
oh, fine.
Quite
Yeah.
clear. Voice is
Is it
clear, sir.
clear?
Yes.
Okay. Gomadi ma'am, that bottle case was like we were talking about the. Now is it clear, ma'am?
Now it's clear.
Okay. It was about the Great Pacific garbage, which you would have heard of. People throwing water bottles. It is taken away by the waves, and there was an island formed by itself, all because of this waste garbages. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. Now, the next presupposition. It is not true, but this is the belief we will have to go ahead with. Is everybody is doing the best they can with the resources they have at the moment. This is the presupposition. My question I have asked is like this person's throwing, water bottles at the shore, plastic water bottles at the shore, what they have done best instead of the worst behavior.
What they have done the
That they have done at the
On the
best.
shore, so easy to pick up than it go into the water.
Somebody told somebody told like rather than putting the
Yeah.
there was my own noise feedback. You can mute any one of the device you are working with.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
No,
Must be come
violated
on.
the rules.
Ma'am, I think
Violated the rules and regulations. Not to be thrown like this.
Okay. So
irresponsible.
they are at least being to a extent responsible that throw it by the seashore, not in the middle of the roads, or as somebody said, not to the not straight away into the ocean. Actually, okay. And Gomadi ma'am, you shared one example, right? Your scholars turning up by the time you go for the classes. What was they would have done actually? Assuming that is the best behavior, what was they would have done?
What worst they would have done? That itself is they have
That
That is the
itself
worst
is
behavior.
that itself is the worst behavior.
yeah.
But our presupposition for NLP is people are doing. We need to believe people are doing the best they can with the resources they have at the moment. So, if you even consider that as a worst behavior, what worst behavior they would have done actually?
Not coming at all to meet the guide. That's
Not coming at all to meet the guide actually. Fine. At least they are coming to meet you by the time you go for class actually. So
it.
not
Showing
coming
up,
at all.
sir. At least
There
they
are
are
many.
showing up.
At least they are showing up and occasionally meeting you. Okay. Okay. Fine. So we need to have a mindset that everybody is doing the best they can. Your client, because you cannot expect an immediate response from your client for all your methods you are using. You cannot expect immediate results from your client for all the methods you are using. So at least be happy that whatever simple progress they show, they are trying to do something. Okay, this is yet another presupposition. So these are all presuppositions. So kindly make it very clear. These are all not true. These are all not ideal. These are all not acceptable also. But for NLP to work out for both of us as a practitioner, as a life coach, we need to assume all these things to be true. Fine. We'll move to the next thing.
Sir, can I give an example for that?
Sir, pardon, sir.
Can I give an example for the previous behavior, sir?
Yeah, please, sir. Please, sir.
Yes, sir. Actually, many times it happens in the parking lot. We generally find a vehicle which is not parked properly. Maybe parking spaces are available. We think why this person is parked like this. In fact, we failed to understand when the person was trying to park at that time what was the situation. We didn't know that. We judge the situation by the present moment. Is it, sir? So
Yes,
that time that person would have found it. That is the best one actually.
Okay.
the way.
And you can also think it like that. Rather than,
Yes.
rather than leaving the car just like that, which will be easy for him to take back, he has at least made an attempt to park. He may be an early driver who is learning to drive. So at least there is an attempt made to park actually, though he has not parked perfectly. Fine, sir?
Exactly.
In a way, this will also reduce misunderstanding and conflicts, right? When we start
Santosh sir, I
studying.
couldn't.
Am I audible, Professor?
Yeah, now audible.
Yeah, I said this in a way, this can also reduce workplace conflict where we think their
Yeah.
efforts are not meeting up to the mark. Maybe we think from their perspective of this is what they've done. Let's see how we can
Okay.
make that up.
Fine.
And
Exactly.
interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
That is the whole purpose of discussing about all this presupposition, because you think of, without all these presuppositions, you cannot have a positive image over yourself when you are trying to change something new, or neither with the clients who are coming to you for the behavior intervention. So that is why we work within this framework.
So changing self will change in others. In both the cases,
Yeah.
we can use this.
The next presupposition is there is no such thing as unresourceful people, only unresourceful states. Santosh sir, you remember the colleague you spoke to
Right.
us about? Okay,
Yes.
he was not an unresourceful person, because he very well know he will have to skill up.
Right.
He very well knows he takes the supports of other person, and because of that only he is doing this all those things. Everything he is known, but only thing is he is in an unresourceful state where he would have come out of that state to improve upon himself. Okay, so in NLP nobody is unresourceful persons. We are only in an unresourceful states. Okay, though whatever bad behaviors are there deep embedded within them, everything can be corrected. Only thing, if we are in an unresourceful state, we have not made the right intervention to correct it yet. That is the thing. So this is one another presupposition of NLP which we will have to have. Okay. Just have a look at this. The resources, look at the left, that is the presupposition. The resources needed by an individual to achieve their outcome in any situation is already inside them. I have been repeatedly telling you, as an NLP coach, we are not supposed to give them medicines, influence them with some, what you call, uh, tablets or something like that. Okay, the resources needed by them is already within them. The only thing is we will have to bring it to the surface level that they realize and they work on it. Okay, so this is yet another very important presupposition of NLP. So provide people with resources, change your state of mind, and see persons as resourceful. What is that resources? What is the resources we mean here? Do we mean money? Do we mean something else? Resources. What is the resources here? What is meant by resources here?
Some kind of
Mindset. Mindset.
motivation you give.
Not mindset. What do you do to a client who has come to you for a behavior modification?
Facilitate, help
You
him.
need to facilitate. First of all, you will have to hear him, listen to him very clearly, active listening. So the resource you can give to him is time, correct? The second thing, like methodologies, facilitate with certain techniques, okay? And you could also provide him with the resource of some motivational talking, speaking to him, trying to understand him. This is what we mean by resources here, okay? These are all within themselves. The only thing, our role is to make them understand that this is already within you, Do it in this fashion so that you will reap the best results. Okay. And you also change your state of mind. Don't think that people who are coming to you with a problem, when they are approaching you as a life coach, they are a total failure, and that's why they are coming to you for a solution. Please don't think it in that way. Okay. Please change your state of mind. They need some additional support to come out. They know what is to be done, they know what is to be changed, but they are helpless. So they are coming to you for certain resources, which I told, like somebody they wanted to them to listen, give them some techniques, give them some methods to practice, and all those things. Fine. We will move with the next presupposition. Okay. This is one thing we will have to understand before we go for the next presupposition. Okay. Anybody heard of this discipline of study? It's called cybernetics. Anyone? I heard there was an audience in us who is an OB and a psychological trainer. Have you heard of this cybernetics? Okay, though it is not, for the brevity, I'll just, sorry to interrupt you, Nikit Puria, sir. You wanted to say something?
Yes, sir. So I work with the software cybernetics of sorts.
Okay. So what is that you do, sir?
So, sir, I'm a
What
senior
is
product.
cybernetics?
So cybernetics is basically a robotic division of or a human imitation of life. That's what robots are called. And cybernetics are basically computer-based robots that will do your daily repetitive tasks.
Here it is totally different. Okay. I'm sorry. After hearing all this thing, I have told you this. Okay. Here, cybernetics is a discipline of study where we study
Microphone
like.
crash.
Hello?
Sir,
Cybernetics is a discipline of study where we study about, there is something called circular causality. Okay, I'll take some time on this. We will skip that quiz we have planned. Okay, I will stop with this presuppositions. Just give me a moment. I will have to switch on my laptop.
Cybernetics.
Okay, fine. See, this cybernetics is nothing but I have given you an example at the right? A ship hovering into the ocean. Okay. You know, in the ship's deck control room, that you imagine that old steering wheel kind of thing. Okay. Not even the ship, car, and other things. Okay. So, how do you maneuver the steering? On what basis you maneuver the steering? Whether it should be kept straight or a slight movement this side, slight movement that side. How do you decide on that? Whether you are driving a ship or car? Quick, we have got 12 minutes of time only.
Tentatively planning.
It's too technical, right? See, we want our car or ship to go in a particular direction and course, right? So if the road bends, we used to bend the steering wheel, and once it returns to the normal plain road, then we turn back the steering wheel so that we drive straightly. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So this is simple cybernetics. This is called circular causality. So you do something, which is the maneuverability of the steering. You get some feedback from the ocean when you drive a ship. Okay. And based on it, you rotate this side or that side so that your course of your travel of ship is maintained. Okay. So this feedback is taken as an input. the feedback given by the oceans and the ocean's tide is taken as an input, and based on that, the steering is adjusted to maintain, or if you want to totally turn the ship, so you will do it in a different fashion. So that stage is called a disruption. So this is actually cybernetics, actually. Fine. So with this cybernetics, what we are trying to learn, there is one very important presupposition we wanted to learn with this understanding of this concept. Now, the cybernetics is applicable to this mechanical objects, human behavior, and everything. When your coffee is, you are served with a cup of coffee, you find the cup of coffee too hot. What will you do? Simple.
Warm
You
water.
will wait till it gets cold.
You will patiently wait.
You will either patiently wait.
I will still enjoy it. I love a hot coffee.
Okay. You will either patiently wait, or you will just blow it for a few times and then take a sip, and then blow it for a few times and then take a sip. As you go on drinking the coffee, do you think it will be in the temperature which it is at the initial level? At that time, you will blow and drink? No. After a particular point of time, when it reaches the desired temperature which you want to have that coffee in, you immediately drink, actually. Fine. So this is a biological example. Have you seen touch me not plants? This touch me not plants. When you touch them, they will fold their thing. Okay. So this cybernetics mechanism is all within every one of us. Let us be the human beings, non-human beings, mechanical devices, everything. Now, there is something, law of requisite variety, which is proposed by Ross Ashbury. He is a cybernetist, actually. Okay. What this law of requisite variety states is that variety here is the number of modes. Variety here is the number of states. Okay. I'll get you a simple example where you will easily understand. Okay, fine. Whenever in an environment, we have two things. One is the controller and controlled. Now, we take a room, okay, and there is a fan going by, okay. Which is the controller and which is the controlled? Which is the controller and which is the controlled? Yes. Don't think
For
of that.
So for a
Pardon, sir?
you're for the fan you're saying, right?
Yeah, I'm not asking for the fan. What is the controller? Between the fan and the room temperatures, okay, forget about the fan. Air conditioning, let us assume.
Yeah.
Between the air conditioner and the room temperature, which is the controller and which is the control?
Control is the AC, and controller is
Controller is the air conditioner.
controller is
Air conditioner.
Control is
And
the room
being
temperature.
controlled, what is being controlled is the temperature of the room, correct?
Yes,
Fine?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Right. This law of prerequisite variety says a controller should have more states than the controlled if there should be a state of, stability. I'll repeat again. This law of prerequisite variety says the controller should have greater than or equal to states. That is what variety is. Variety, they call it in technical terms in cybernetics, than the controlled to arrive at a system stability. Okay, fine. Now, if your room wants to be too chill, what would you do to the air conditioner?
Minimize the temperature.
You reduce the temperature. If your room wants to be little bit an ordinary temperature, what would be you be doing to your air conditioner?
Increase the temperature.
Increase the temperature. If your room wants more air into it, you will control the air flows, level 1, level 2, and level 3. Okay. If your room wants to be without any intervention from that air conditioner, what will you do?
Switch off the air conditioner.
Switch off the air conditioner. Now let us assume my room is the controlled. So I want the controlled to be in different states, right? One, I want it in 18 degrees, ultimate cold. Okay. The other, I want it in 23 degrees, a nominal higher level of cold, 25, a nominal roll, then the 30 room temperature, then switched off because, I don't require the air conditioning at all. For how many states we require in the room? How many states are required in the room?
5
Almost
states.
5 states are required in the room. If the air conditioner has only 3 states, will it be okay that you will be able to control the temperature of the room?
No, sir.
No.
No. When I don't want the conditioner, I will have to switch off. When I want to have the highest cooling capacity, I should have the option in the air conditioner to have it at 18 degrees centigrade. Correct? High cool centigrade. When I want the normal temperature, I wanted it to be in 25, or when I want it in room temperature, it should be in 30. So my air conditioner, which is the controller, should have all the variety, all the states which is expected in the controlled, which is the room. Now relate the controller to you and they're controlled to the client you are dealing with. What are all the states? Variety, the various mindsets, the various mood sets, the various emotions that the client has. So you as a life coach should have the flexibility in mindsets which are more than or equal to the mindsets of your client if you want to coach them. Have I made it clear? I'll repeat once again. You are the controller. Your client is the controlled. He is being controlled. If you want to control the mood states, mindset, thought processes, emotions, whatever you take, behavior of your client, then you should have more number of flexible mind states, which is greater or equal to the mind states, emotions, behaviors, all flexibility greater than your client. Then only you will be able to control the client. Otherwise, you will not be able to control. I want the room to be in a normal temperature. There is no option in this air conditioner for keeping the room in a normal temperature. What will happen? Will I be able to achieve the desired outcome in the controlled? My question is clear. I want
Yes, sir.
almost chillness in the room, but my air conditioner doesn't have that options. Doesn't have that option. Will the outcome be achieved in the room?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, no.
So if you don't have the flexibility of option to control your client, then that state, if you don't possess, then you cannot be a proper life coach. You cannot do a life coaching at all. You are getting it?
Yes.
Okay.
Sir,
Say
I
for
have a
example,
doubt, sir.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, like who is the controller and who is controlled? Actually, going by lateral thinking, they are not absolute. We say the air conditioner is the controller, which is controlling the temperature. Actually, in practice, the air conditioner is triggered by the temperature through the thermostat. Actually, so
Okay.
can I say the room temperature is the
Sir, I
controller, and air
got it, sir.
conditioner is the control?
Sir, I got it. It
Yes,
is
sir.
just a metaphor. It is just a metaphor. Okay. This air conditioner and room is
Okay, sir.
just a metaphor. I totally agree with you. There is an auto option in the air conditioner so that you set the predefined temperature. The air conditioner will automatically adjust and all those things. Okay. It is just a metaphor. The thing here to understand is if you want to have a control of your client, you should be having the more flexible mood sets, mindsets, and emotional states than your client in order to have the flexibility to change and suit according to the need of the client. Let me put it in a simple example, sir. Forget about this air conditioner and all those things. Okay. Your
Yes, sir. I'm
client.
just extrapolating the same thing to the client.
Okay.
Sometimes will it happen that we also change our mindset because of the client?
No,
Is it a
you should
positive
not.
behavior?
You
That's
should
all
not
that.
change your. You should not change your mindset because of your client. Your mindset should be in alignment with the mindset of the client. You are getting it, sir. You should have
Yes,
the
sir.
flexibility to change, but that doesn't mean. I told you in the first class. It is not that you are influenced by your client. You should influence your client. You need to have the flexibility to change, but at the same time, you need to have the control of your client also. Okay. I'll tell you a small example, sir. You're a professor, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Professor of
Now let
Management.
us have an example like you go to a particular class. Okay. You enter the class. It is the last hour in the afternoon. Okay. Fine. So you enter the class and you start with an opening note like, okay, students, since it is the last hour of this day, we will not have the fullest class today, but I will discuss some certain important concepts for about 30 minutes and then I will leave you free. Okay, you are making this remark. Okay, you will get certain sort of feedback from your, the students. Let us assume that they are your clients. You will get some certain feedback from your students, not orally or one by one or professionally. You will be able to read their mindset, body language, and there are some sound and sound, all those things you will be able to gauge.
Yes, sir.
You will be able to gauge. So in that case, how would you change your control based on the mood of the students who are being controlled?
Exactly, sir.
Can I give the example? So I walk into the class, okay? So I say the same thing. This is the last hour. So, but we have important portion to be completed. So we will complete only that, and that will take maximum of 20 minutes. And after that, I will leave you free to do your own some sort of work. Let us assume tomorrow they have examination. When I utter that, I observe their body language that most of them are disinterested and most of them, sir, and all those noises you will hear, right? Then I will immediately change. So I thought of doing this, but it's okay. You prepare for the examination. So this is the states. I have a state more than their state, or I have a state to respond each of their states. If I don't get the feedback right, sir, all those things, I will go ahead with the class. If I get that feedback, I have an option to leave them to prepare. So this is what I mean by more number of states in the controller rather than more number of states in the being controller. Got it, sir?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Fine. So
Got it, sir.
I
Thank you.
think we are done with it. Okay. The other three are very self-explanatory. I'll just complete. Okay. So variety here means the states. So who is the controller? You are the controller. Controller states the kind of behavior variations you can handle. Okay, that should be equal or greater than the states which the controlled has. So you should have flexibility at a greater level. Depending on the client's mood and other things, you should have the flexibility. Fine. Look at in this. This is the next thing. The individual displaying the most appropriate flexibility in their behavior will have the greatest influence on others in the system. System here is nothing but the you and the client and the context. Okay. If you have more flexibility, you can bring in the greatest results. Okay. There is no failure In NLP, there is no failure, there is only feedback. You know the athletes running by a time frame. I want to complete it within this month, within this thing. You have deadlines. You are not able to complete it. You are not able to change their behavior. Okay, fine. This time, there is no failure. There is a feedback that if I progress in this state, I will not be able to complete it at the stipulated time. So the next time I should work on different strategy. Okay. So this is one presupposition. Nothing is a failure. It's only a feedback. Okay. Then finally, there are some risks in being a NLP practitioner and coach. Okay. And this presupposition is related to that actually. When you decide to take charge of the mind, you therefore take the responsibility for the results created out in the world. Here, world means the behavior of the clients actually. You are the NLP coach, so you are taking charge of the client's mind. So you are responsible for the results that client is exhibiting because of your interventions. Okay, so be very judicious when you are using this thing, because we are acting under a condition that acting as if though there is no information, we are assuming there is information and we are acting, and we are not sure of the results, and all the methodologies you adapt with your clients requires mid-course correction. It's fine. So that is it from my end. Session is done. Thank you for all of you. I hand over the session to Professor Datta, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Very good evening, one and all present. So we are done with 4 days of sessions. I don't know, there is a lot of echoes, but anyhow.
Sir, Santosh sir, I think you will be using dual systems.
Okay,
I think
okay.
you can mute one of them.
Okay, I think that may be. Yes. So, very good evening, one and all present this evening. Thank you so much for your presence for 4 days of NLP Practitioner and Life Coach program. I appreciate all of your support and active participations during the course of the program. On behalf of MTC Global Family, I express my heartfelt thanks for your presence and active participations and supporting this program. I thank Dr. David sir, as he rightly mentioned himself as a resource sharing person, to share his knowledge and wisdom with all of us, and including myself. I was present throughout the programs, so I myself learnt a lot, and let the learning continues, and a lot of collaborative learning as well. It's very heartening to see that all the participants, they presented the homework the last day yesterday what was given, and wonderfully put it across, and very warm participation. Thank you once again. And the e-certificate will be sent to all the participants through email by Wednesday. Okay, probably it will be done by tomorrow itself. Well, let us just give the deadline as Wednesday. And thank you once again. So hopefully we'll meet up once again in some or other platform. And please keep in touch. And thank you so much. Stay safe. Stay well. I request Dr. David sir to please conclude the certification program.
Sir, what about?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. One thing, Purnima ma'am, I'll just, David sir, 1 minute. David sir has spoken with me. So sir is working on the course material, and it will be sent to you tomorrow. Sir is working on that same thing, and I'll send it. Sir will send to me, and I'll send it across in the WhatsApp group as well as through email as well.
Sir has handed over.
David sir, please hand over to you.
Santosh sir, can you mute please? Thank you, sir. That's why Professor has handed over the final part of the session to me. I was about to make an announcement regarding the reading materials. Okay, whatever is covered in the 4 day session, I mean the 6 days sessions will also be a part of the reading material. And apart from that, there are additional things like how to develop rapport with your clients, how to develop your communication levels when you are interacting with your clients. That will be also a part of the materials. I just need time to collate and bring it into a booklet form. Just give me tomorrow. So I'll be sending it to Datta sir with all this thing as an entire booklet, and you can have it. And one final thing, you did an exercise on the first day, you remember? I showed you some HR scenarios and
Yes, sir.
office scenarios,
Situations, some situations.
situations, asked you to how you will react and what will be the outcome. So,
Yes.
okay, you have written your outcome and how you would react before you had taken up this course, right? Now
Yes.
you know what is NLP and what is the frames. How do you need to treat other people? How do you need to, uh, you know, uh, regard other people and all those things. For the same situations, now write a new thing of with the intervention of NLP. What would be your behavior and what will be the outcome? See for yourself whether you are able to attain that. So that is the purpose of which we did that exercise on the first day.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you, all of you. Thanks for all your active participation. And thanks, Datta sir, for providing me yet another opportunity here. Thank you all. Okay.
Thank you so much. Please stay
Thank
well.
you.
Thank you.
David, sir.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Datta
you.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Nikit sir. Thank you, sir.
David, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
David.
Nikit
Thank
sir.
you very
Thank
Thank
you
you,
much.
so much, sir.
Maharajan
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Gopal sir. Jai Bharati ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
for
David, sir.
contributors, Purnima ma'am, Gomanti ma'am,
Thank you very much, sir, David,
big,
sir, for your
yeah,
continuous flow in explaining the things very patiently. Very good flow of communication, sir. Keep it up, sir.
Absolutely.
Sir,
it's all,
one thing I wanted to ask you, sir, your slides, you had very beautiful slides you have made
yes, ma'am.
with animation. What was the
Yes.
technology you used, sir?
Ma'am, it is a software platform called Canva, ma'am. I will just
Canvo.
type it.
Canvo.
No,
Okay.
I'll just type it in the chat box, ma'am.
Please, please.
Very good presentation, sir.
Very good
David.
slides.
Only thing is, it will take lot of time, ma'am, and
Yeah.
you can have it only in this cloud as far as you have a free version. Okay. Just typing and sending. Okay. It's called Canva. You need not only do presentation, ma'am. You now are into online classes, so you can upload your self-recorded video along with the background of thoughts and other things. You can
Okay.
make posters. You can design certificates for your students. So there are a lot of other things. So just you need to have a Gmail account of this, ma'am,
Gmail.
your own personal Gmail account, and you can do it everything. I'll just for a moment share. I'm sharing my screen, right? So I'll just for a moment show my Canvas screen so that you can see all my works will be there in a particular place itself. You can also use one more tool, ma'am, if you are interested. Easy, but it is still more complex. See, this is my Canvas screen, but it will take a lot of time, ma'am, initially to master, and during the course of presentation also. Once you get to know all the features and other things, you would.
Sir, it's a software, sir.
It's LMS.
No, a cloud-based
Hmm.
software, ma'am. You
Where
can
we will
use
get
it.
it, sir? Where we
You
can.
just go. No, you just go to canva.com,
Ah,
and if you want a free account, just you can log in with your mail ID. Okay.
okay.
If you want a purchase, then there are plans available,
Okay.
individual pro plans and all those things.
Thanks for the
So
information.
this is the software Canva. Okay, fine.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Thank you. Okay, ma'am. Okay, sir. With all your
Okay.
permission, I'm taking a leave. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Dr. Fred.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Going off
David,
there.
sir,
Thank you.
one thing just like to share with you.
Yes, sir.
David, sir?
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
I've
I'm
been
here.
to the Bangalore Institute.
Okay.
Some years back, I conducted a session on body language actually to the students.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Some time back. Actually, my nephew studied in your college.
Okay.
So I am from Ooty actually, sir.
Okay. Fine, sir. Fine, sir.
I'm from Ooty. So as you can see me, sir.
Yeah, I
Just
can see you, but what is the year, sir? I couldn't
yes.
because in between I was off
It
with
was sometime
BIT.
maybe 8 years or more there almost.
So I was there till
Somewhere.
2014. Then 14 to 18, I took a break from BIT. I moved to some central government institutions.
Yes, sir. Somewhere in that I came actually
Okay.
for your engineering students. I took
Engineering
the session.
students. Okay. Fine, sir.
Yes,
Nice
sir.
to hear.
I
Sir.
was the
Thank you so
resource
much.
person there, sir. Nice, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We'll connect, sir. Connect with
Okay.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank
all
you,
of
sir.
you, sir. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.